What if the love of your life vanished without a word, and you spent the next 60 years wondering why? In 1959, Tom proposed to Judith, two young teachers in love, dreaming of forever. But when her family disapproved, she disappeared, leaving nothing behind, except heartbreak. Tom searched for decades, never knowing if she was alive, yet he never let go of the ring, and just when he thought it was too late, her name appeared. This isn't just a reunion, it's a love story that waited a lifetime and finally got its second chance. A love that almost was, and the goodbye that came too soon. In the late 1950s, in the warm sunshine of Brisbane, Australia, two young aspiring teachers crossed paths in a college classroom. It was 1957, and while the world around them was still rebuilding after the war, a quiet, tender love began to grow. Tom Susans was a dedicated, gentle man. Judith Beston was lively, thoughtful, and full of promise. Their connection was instant but not rushed, the kind of love that blooms slowly, like a trust that grows deeper over time. By 1959, they were engaged. Tom had just accepted a teaching position in Beaudesert. Judith, teaching in North Queensland at the time, made a bold move to be closer to him. She returned to her hometown of Redcliffe, thinking her family would be excited to meet the man she loved, the man she was planning to marry. But Judith's homecoming was not the warm embrace she expected. Instead of celebration, she faced cold resistance. Her mother disapproved. "He's too old for you," her mother said. "This is a mistake." Judith was torn. Between loyalty to her family and the love she'd found with Tom, the pressure weighed on her. It became too much. And so, without warning, she left. She accepted a job offer in New Zealand and vanished from Tom's life. With no note, no call, no explanation. "I didn't know where she was. I couldn't find her anywhere," Tom later said. "I thought she was dead." Still, he couldn't bring himself to throw away the engagement and wedding rings he'd bought for her. Instead, he placed them gently into a wooden cabinet and closed the door on the life they never got to live. 2 lifetimes apart, and one man who never stopped looking. Time passed. 1 year became 5, then 10, then decades. Tom, still heartbroken but determined to move forward, found love again. He met Sylvia, a fellow teacher in Rockhampton. They married, built a home together, and raised 4 beautiful daughters. Eventually, the couple retired to a small, peaceful farm where they lived for many happy years, until Sylvia passed away after 53 years of marriage. Judith also created a new life in New Zealand. She met and married an Englishman named Norman. Together, they raised 7 children, including 2 adopted Maori children. Judith taught high school, raised a large and loving family, and built a legacy of strength and compassion. Norman passed away 35 years into their marriage. From the outside, it looked like 2 separate, full lives, as if Tom and Judith had truly moved on. But in quiet moments, Tom still thought of her, still wondered where she'd gone, still asked himself why. He never stopped looking. Every 10 years, their old college, now known as the Queensland University of Technology, held reunions for former graduates. Tom went faithfully, hoping, just maybe, he'd see her. At the 30-year reunion, no sign of Judith. The 40-year, still nothing. By the 50th, Tom didn't even bother to look. He'd given up hope. But when he got home and flipped through the list of over 400 attendees, there it was, her name, Judith Beston. He couldn't believe his eyes. He dialed the number listed beside her name. She pointed out she was still alive. Tom laughed later, a twinkle in his eye. They spoke. The voice on the other end was unmistakably hers, familiar, warm, and so full of life. The same ring, the same love, a second chance at forever. They reunited in person at another Golden Graduates reunion, the first time seeing each other face to face in more than 50 years. They talked about everything, the years apart, the families they'd raised, the memories they still carried. But despite their emotional reunion, life didn't reconnect them right away. They exchanged Christmas cards, letters, but not much more. It wasn't until Tom's beloved Sylvia passed away, and Judith had long been widowed herself, that they began writing again in earnest. Then, in April of this year, more than 6 decades after they last held hands as young lovers, Judith returned to Australia for her 80th birthday. She and Tom finally reunited again, not at a reunion, but on their own terms. They took a road trip up the Queensland coast, laughed together, shared quiet moments, and one afternoon, while watching the waves roll in, Tom turned to her, and he asked, "Will you marry me?" No hesitation. Judith smiled and said, "Yes." "Normally," she explained, "I take time to think things through. Sometimes too long, but this time, I just knew." Their wedding was held in an intimate ceremony surrounded by close friends and family. And when the time came, Tom opened the same wooden cabinet where that ring had waited, untouched, for 60 years. He placed it on Judith's finger. "It still fit," he said, with a soft laugh. "After all this time, it still fit." The reactions, the surprise, and the life they share now. Tom's friends were stunned. One, Don Watterson, a fellow retired teacher, had known Tom since college. 3 or 4 months ago, Tom brought this woman to our usual teacher meetup, Don recalled. Her name was Judith. She came again the next time. Then Tom told us they were engaged. We were floored, but honestly, we were thrilled. Now, in their 80s, Tom and Judith live in quiet joy. They garden together, go for walks, sit out on the porch in the evenings watching the sky change colors, just happy to have each other. "We're really lucky," Judith says now. "The chance of reconnecting after all these years and actually picking up where we left off. It's rare," Tom agrees. "It feels like we never missed a beat. And maybe, deep down, they didn't. Because real love waits, through distance, through time, through marriages and losses and children and life. It waits in the quiet corners of the heart, sometimes even in a wooden cabinet."